Life is full of mysteries. Mysteries big and small play a prominent role in every field of study and way of life, at times even shaping entire cultures. From the ancient Greeks and their mystery cults of Bacchus, to early Christians debating the precise nature of their God, to scientists on the front lines of modern discovery, humanity has tackled mysteries of all shapes and sizes. At times, unfortunately, the mysteries that humans become entangled in are dark and frightening. It's these mysteries that chill us to the bone and keep us awake at night, fretting about what may or may not be waiting in the dark. From time to time, the puzzles presented to us by life go unsolved for years, and even decades. While in today's video, we'll be looking at 5 historical and contemporary mysteries that are both chilling and, as of yet, unsolved. Some of these mysteries could be considered quite disturbing, so hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy. Vietnam War Bigfoot Mystery. There are many places on Earth that are essentially untouched by modern humanity, places deep in rainforests and mountain ranges like the Amazon and the Himalayas. Even the ocean is poorly explored and understood. It's places like these where stories about mysterious creatures and cryptids emerge. Creatures like the Yeti, the Sasquatch, and the Kraken. There was once a time when giant squids were considered a part of myth. A Kraken that existed only in tall tales, until the creatures were photographed for the first time in 2004. From time to time, these hidden places are stumbled upon by people, and sadly, this is often by soldiers in times of war. During the US-Vietnam War, many US troops reported large, bipedal primates living in the mountainous jungles of the Vietnam Central Highlands. The creatures were described as being around 6 feet tall, with brown or reddish-brown hair, like an orangutan, though there are no known orangutan populations in Vietnam. The soldiers claimed that the locals were well aware of these creatures, calling them the people of the forest, or the Noi Rung. Many veterans have told stories of these ape-like creatures, including Gary Linderer, who at the time of his encounter with the ape was on a 6-man patrol with the 101st Airborne's long-range reconnaissance patrols. While travelling through the underbrush, he purportedly ran into a bipedal creature, describing it as having deep-set eyes on a prominent brow and being 5 feet tall with long muscular arms and a heavy torso. Army Sergeant Thomas Jenkins reported his platoon had been attacked by apes matching that description, throwing stones. But it wasn't only the American soldiers who saw these strange apes. By the end of the war, Viet Cong and NVA soldiers reported so many sightings of the Noi Rung that the North Vietnamese Communist Party sent scientists to the forest to investigate. Dr. Va Huy, a respected ornithologist and environmental researcher from Hanoi, supposedly discovered a footprint belonging to the cryptid on the forest floor and made a cast of it. The cast was wider than a human foot and too big for any known native apes. Information on this study is scarce, though multiple scientists and biologists acknowledge that it's possible that a species of ape might go unnoticed in the more remote areas of Southeast Asia. What do you think? The strange blue people. In the forested hills of the Appalachian Mountains, there is a legend about a clan of strange, secretive folk living in the forest. Rumours about these folk were abundant. Some said they were magical, others thought satanic, while still others believed them to be a lost human race. What everyone could agree on was that this clan had one thing that made them stand out: blue skin. Well, as it turns out, this legend is true, and it all began in 1820, when a man named Martin Fugate immigrated from France to the United States in search of a fresh start and a new life, settling in a place called Troublesome Creek in Kentucky. Martin moved not only to have a fresh start on the free land offered to willing settlers, but also to go somewhere far from major populations. You see, Fugate was born with blue skin. Abandoned by his parents shortly after birth, likely due to his condition, he grew up to be an orphan who was largely ostracized from society. In moving to Kentucky, he hoped to settle in the wilds, where few would see his condition. In Kentucky, he met and married a red-haired English woman named Elizabeth Smith. Martin and Elizabeth Fugate would go on to work their farm and have 7 children together, 4 of them born with blue skin. This blue skin, as modern science is able to tell us, is caused by a condition called hemoglobinemia, which is a blood disorder in which too little oxygen is delivered to your cells. Even those in the family who looked normal were carriers of the recessive gene that caused the same odd pigmentation. Now, due to how tiny Troublesome Creek was, having only 5 families, the Fugates married with their own family during times of scarcity. This inbreeding of first and second cousins created a bloodline with the highest known occurrence rate of the condition on the planet, so strong that it has lasted in their family for nearly 200 years. Typically the condition is so rare, but this condition would no longer show up in the children of the next generation. But as mentioned, the town of Troublesome Creek was so small that they didn't even have official roads. There wouldn't be a rail or road even to bring in new settlers until 1912. The descendants of the Fugates continued to live deep in the woods, away from society at large, for fear of being shunned the way their progenitor was in France all those centuries ago. Mysterious elephant deaths. Botswana is currently experiencing a very mysterious rash of elephant deaths near the Okavango Delta in Seronga. Nearly 300 elephants are confirmed to have died in an area of 8,000 square kilometers that is home to about 18,000 elephants in total. It was also found that about 70% of the deaths clustered around waterholes from which the elephants drank, with local witnesses saying that many of the elephants were seen behaving strangely, walking in circles, indicating neurological damage. Other elephants, witnesses claim, simply fell straight onto their faces, indicating a very sudden death. The government of Botswana began their investigation in July 2020 and found in their initial inquiries that poaching and anthrax are not the cause of these elephant deaths. Sadly, this is not exactly a new sort of occurrence in Botswana, as localized elephant deaths are not unprecedented. Large die-offs of large wild animals do at times occur, with causes largely stemming from environmental changes which are often the result of human activities. Cyanide poisoning has also been considered as a possibility, as it's often used by poachers in neighbouring Zimbabwe to kill large amounts of animals all at once. But scavenging animals like hyenas and vultures do not seem to be dying or getting sick from eating the carcasses. Locals also reported that there seemed to be fewer scavengers than normal. At the end of July, Botswana sent a series of tests to a lab to attempt to determine what was happening. But since then, the tests have been proclaimed inconclusive, with Botswana officials refusing to disclose which lab they purportedly hired. Botswana has since drawn criticism from scientists across the globe, with independence being launched in late July. This suspicious behaviour, coupled with the odd circumstances of the elephants dying, calls into question what the government of Botswana actually knows. Hopefully, this isn't as suspicious as it seems, and this is a mystery that can be solved soon. The strange disappearance of Atlantic C124. Aircraft disappearances are always a favourite amongst mystery enthusiasts. There are many to choose from, as we've talked about in previous videos, but Atlantic C124 stands out due to its status as a high-profile military cargo vehicle. It's rare for the property of the US military to go missing and never be found, especially during the 50s, when the US and the Soviet Union were starting to escalate the Cold War. In 1951, a military cargo aircraft called Douglas C-124 Globemaster II crashed about 450 miles west of the Irish coast and vanished. While this might seem like a run-of-the-mill plane crash, vanishing into the ocean, it becomes far more suspicious and complicated when it's further explored. The mystery began even before the Globemaster left Walker Air Force Base in Roswell, New Mexico. During the Globemaster's first stop, it was loaded with 2 KB-29 crates big enough to hold a large bomb whose contents are unknown. It was there that Brigadier General Paul T. Cullen and his staff joined the flight. This is important to note because during World War II, Cullen was a high-ranking intelligence officer, typically gathering photographs taken by Allied aircraft and determining bombing targets, making him a highly valued target for Soviet intelligence operatives. The Globemaster then made another stop in Maine, fueling up in anticipation of its cross-Atlantic journey. Once clear of the North American coast, the Globemaster followed the typical path of planes, taking the northern route with its crew regularly checking in every hour. Things seemed perfectly normal until about 450 miles west of the Irish coast, when the Globemaster failed to make its hourly location report at 2 a.m, apparently vanishing. At 3:49 a.m, officials in England issued an alert for the aircraft, but never heard back from anyone. It wasn't until 9:20 a.m. before they declared the Globemaster missing, more than 3 hours after the plane was due to arrive. Once the plane was declared missing, the 509th Bomb Wing of the Strategic Air Command sent out a single B-29 bomber, a plane that is not equipped for a rescue mission, to search for the lost plane. When the B-29 arrived, its crew located what appeared to be at least one life raft with a blue tarp over it. An addendum to their report stated that the life raft might have been turned over. The bomber stayed in the area as long as it could before low fuel forced it to return to the base. Reports, both from official government sources and newspapers, gave indications that some men survived the crash, or at least tried to alert others to their situation with the tarps. One newspaper cited a commercial airplane pilot who reported hearing a distress signal from another aircraft in the vicinity of the Globemaster's flight path, but the SOS stopped abruptly. Others also reported spotting flares in the area where the plane might have crashed, with one aircraft seeing floating parachutes and at least one life raft. While the United States launched a search of the area by air and water, they recovered very few useful leads. They managed to find a burned duffel bag or briefcase and approximately 13 miscellaneous small pieces of the aircraft, but no life rafts, parachutes, tarps, or anything else. And that is all that is known about the disappearance of this plane. Neither the government nor the military has ever disclosed whether or not they know what exactly happened on or to that plane. Is it possible that the plane was shot down by a Soviet submarine to eliminate a dangerous US intelligence asset? Then the scene was covered up for some reason, or could it have simply been an accident and a mission control that didn't take the risks seriously enough to call for a search party on time? Some published sources claim that the crew reported a fire on board before making a water landing. However, there are no known official statements that indicate that to be the case. Either way, this seems like one mystery that will never be solved. Screaming on dashcam. This one is a tough one, and is likely part of a crime or series of crimes still in progress. On November 12, 2019, in the Los Angeles neighborhood of Leimert Park, a Ring doorbell camera captured chilling footage of what is most likely a kidnapping. In the video, we see the owner of the Ring camera step out onto her porch to try to find the source of the loud screams outside. While the kidnapping itself cannot be seen in the video, you can very clearly hear a woman pleading, "Help me, somebody help me," as another voice, possibly the driver, shouts, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." As this is happening, a white sedan speeds through the neighborhood with its trunk wide open. Witnesses told police that the car's front window appeared shattered and covered with plastic, though there is no official confirmation of this. Take a look. The car was determined to be a 2003 to 2008 four-door Toyota Matrix with black rims. Police described the possible victim as a black woman or girl with dark braided hair. They also described the driver as a black man, but give no further detail. There was briefly a woman who was believed to be the victim of this kidnapping, named Tashira Broughton, though after some time, Broughton was found to be safe. To this day, the LAPD has not managed to get any leads, nor do they even have a positive ID on the missing woman. While there may have been plenty of missing persons reports since this kidnapping, the LAPD says that they haven't been able to connect any to this recording. Sadly, there is very little reliable information available about this one, and the police appear to be as baffled as anyone else. If anyone out there knows anything about this horrible case, please reach out to the LAPD. We hope that giving this case more exposure could help someone out there find this woman and turn this potentially disturbing mystery into a solved case. So that's 5 disturbing mysteries that we have yet to solve. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any theories or thoughts on any of these mysteries, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.